Hi there, I'm going to show you how to create an assessment using Google Forms. You can follow this same exact process to complete line number 31, which is to create a Google form that will help you get to know your students. Today, however, our focus will be line number 22, creating assessment using Google Forms. So the first thing I'm going to do is select yes, so that my points will continue to accumulate here at the right-hand side, and I can assess where I am in the process of maintaining or obtaining my 400 points total over the semester. So after I select yes on item number 22, I now have to go about completing it. The first thing you'll do is go to your Google Drive, and this is where you will create a Google form. Select New. Here you'll only see Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, as those are Google's main apps. As you'll notice, the Drive icon has this yellow, green, and blue, similar to the yellow, green, and blue that are denoted with these apps icons. So you will not find it immediately. You'll have to select New, More, and then select Google Forms. Once you have been redirected to Google Forms, you'll give it a new name. Now, like all of the other Google apps, other than Google Sites, Google will save your work every 3 seconds. So here I will select History Quiz. Now I can go up to the right-hand side and select my name, but if I've uh, to rename it, but if I've already renamed it here in the main area, it will rename my quiz up at the top left-hand side. So now I have renamed my quiz. I'm going to change the look or the aesthetic because it's what I like to do. So I'm going to select this paint icon, and choose a different header image. I could choose from work and school, illustrations, food and dining, but I'm going to select from work and school. I can scroll through here and find a header image that I think best reflects what it is we will do on our Google form. So that is our new header image. It changes in the Google form, and I can select my theme color and my background color. Once I'm done, I will select the X and begin to build questions for my quiz. Over here at the right-hand side is all you'll need to start building questions. I can select plus if I want to add a new question, but I immediately notice that a question has been created upon the creation of the quiz. So I'm going to retitle this question, what was taxed during the Stamp Act? And it automatically defaults to multiple choice. So I could begin to enter in multiple options, sugar, papers, um, cards, envelopes. But it looks like there would be more than one answer. I think papers and cards were taxed during the Stamp Act. I can't actually remember, but this is just an example. So rather than multiple choice as the item type, I'm going to select check boxes, which will allow whomever takes this quiz to select more than one answer. Now, this isn't a very robust quiz with only one question. So when I'm ready to create another question, I will go to the plus side to the right-hand side to create a new question. Here, I will put another question. So describe in detail what's the thing where they threw the tea overboard? Oh, the Boston Tea Party. And here you can see that Google is starting to recognize my questions and automatically defaulted it as a paragraph type of question. So I agree with that. I'm going to leave it as a paragraph. And when I want to select a new question, I'll simply select the plus sign. Here, I'm going to ask them who wrote the Declaration of Independence. I don't know how to spell very well. So I can leave it multiple choice and type in John Adams, George Washington, um, Thomas Jefferson, or Adam Sandler. Very likely. I don't know, whoever takes this quiz is gonna have a hard time. Now I can continue to add questions. There's multiple question types. If I select this drop down to the right-hand side, you can see that I might ask my students to select from a drop down, from a linear scale, uh, in from 1 to 5, how well do you understand the 3 branches of government? And then I can say, not at all, very well. I understand it very well. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna put, even if it's not grammatically correct. Now, this quiz, or this form rather, is beginning to take shape, but I want to see what it will look like to those who are going to take the assessment. So if I use this little preview feature that looks like an eyeball, select that in a new tab, it opens up what anyone who sees this quiz who's not a creator will see. So whoever is taking this quiz can start to select multiple answers for this question type, can begin to describe in detail the Boston Tea Party, can give an answer with who wrote the Declaration of Independence, and answer on a Likert scale from 1 to 5 if I understand the 3 branches of government. When I'm done, I can hit submit. So that's what it will look like. Now you'll notice it opened a new tab when I wanted to preview it. I can select X and go back here to the editing. Now, any edits I make to this Google form are automatically saved every 3 seconds. You can see here up at the top left-hand side, it says all changes saved in Drive. I can go up here to the right-hand side, go to the settings, and I do not want to restrict my users to Bakersfield City School District domains. For presentation, I do not want to show a link to submit another response. And if I wanted to for quizzes, I could make this a quiz and start to identify the correct answers by simply going here and editing my assessment so that you could see which answers were the right answers and which wrong answers were the incorrect answers. But again, I'm not going to go about doing that in the quiz feature right now. I have, however, select or put in how to make it a quiz so that it will grade on its own in the slides presentation that is attached to our week 4 work. So this is how you create a Google form, and this is how you can make it a quiz. Here you can be asking anything. It's up to you. This is a high utility tool, a great way to um, start gathering information from your kids or your whomever it may be. The responses will be stored here in the responses tab. And I can even select this sheet tab or this sheet icon, and it'll create a spreadsheet with all of my answers. But today we are only completing item 22, which simply requires us to create a Google quiz create a quiz using Google Forms. So now that I've done this and it lives in my Google Drive, I'm going to add it to my website. I do that by going to my website, going to TPE5. I'm going to use the layouts to the right as I generally do. I don't like the pictures on the same side, so I'm going to move it. Create a quiz. And I believe that was line 22. And I'm going to give I'm going to type in my 3 to 4 sentences about Google Forms and why it's important. I'm not going to do that right now. And now when I'm ready to embed my Google form into my website, I don't need to take a screenshot. I can actually utilize this plus sign here, or I could go over here to my From Drive, select From Drive. That's where I would like to insert from. I like to go to recent because that shows what I've worked on most recently. And I'm going to embed my history quiz. Select history quiz, select insert. Now your quiz can be on anything you'd like. I'm going to enlarge that. Now, anytime I've made any edits to my website, I always have to make sure I hit what now? You're right, publish. So if I want to preview what my quiz looks like embedded into my website under TPE5, I can select this preview window, or excuse me, this preview icon, and see that yes, in fact, my form has now been embedded into my website. So that is how to create a Google form so that you can utilize it as a quiz for your students and how to embed it into your website. If you need any support or assistance, please feel free to email me at any time and I'll get back to you as possible. Have a wonderful week and a great time creating Google Forms.